Commissioners, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. How I do that is I've got to read a statement I read in every hearing. Once I'm done with that, I'll hand the case over to case manager, Miss Belinda Algeen. She'll get the parties' names and spelling and swear everybody in. So bear with me while I read the statement. Good morning and welcome to the Philadelphia Fair Housing Commission. My name is Allie DeMedeiros. I'm the attorney for the Fair Housing Commissioners. Also present here today from the Fair Housing Commission staff is Miss Belinda Algeen. She is your case manager. You'll also see Monica Gonzalez, who runs our Zoom hearings for us. Before the hearing, I'm required to go over a few things with you. First, you're being recorded. We record all our hearings. By remaining on the line and participating in the hearing, you are consenting to be recorded. Our Zoom hearings have the same force and effect as if we were in person. The only difference is on Zoom, we do not have a court reporter. In the event either party wants to appeal a final order of this commission, you can reach out to me or the case manager, and we'll provide you with a copy of the recording. Please be mindful of what you're saying and doing because it is being recorded. Second, at 9 o'clock this morning, the commissioners and myself, the attorney, met in a private executive session to discuss the day's cases. We do this on every hearing day with every case. Third, the parties had the opportunity to submit documents. I have the submitted documents saved on my computer and can share them with everyone on the screen. Please keep in mind that the commission only looks at the very basic documents in a case prior to a hearing. If you would like a document reviewed by the commission, please reference it by name, date, or description so that I can post it on the screen for everyone to look at the same time. During the course of today's hearing, it might be necessary for the commissioners to speak privately to make decisions in this matter. If they need to do that, they will invite you to join separate rooms divided by party called breakout rooms. A prompt will come on your screen at the appropriate moment asking you if you would like to join a breakout room. We will direct you to click join when you see that prompt. Once in the breakout room, please remain in the room. We will never end a hearing when you are in a separate room. Please make sure you're back in this main room and that a commission or staff member dismisses you when you log off or hang up. Thank you very much for listening. With that, I'm going to hand the case over to Miss Belinda. Thank you.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. This is the matter of Felicia Washington versus Corey Hagee and Run with Hagee Services, LLC. The Fair Housing Docket number is 2024-1104-19083, and this is the first Fair Housing hearing. There's also a matter in municipal court scheduled for February 28, 2025 at 8:45 a.m. in the case of Run with Hagee Services versus Felicia Washington, docket number LT 2501175223. At this time, beginning with the tenant, if you can please state and spell your first and last name, and please speak slowly and clearly for the record.
Felicia Washington, Felicia Washington, Washington.
Thank you. And landlord, can you please state and spell your first and last name, and please speak slowly and clearly for the record?
Corey Hagee, Kori, Hagee, Haggie.
Thank you. And counsel for landlord, can you please put your name on the record and state who you're representing?
Yes, Michael Williams, attorney for the landlord. MichaelWilliams, attorney ID 205614. My address is 6217 Frankfurt Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19135.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to swear the parties in. Can both tenant and landlord please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The commission has 3 rules for today's hearing. First, do not speak over or interrupt each other, and do not speak over or interrupt the commissioners. Each party will have an opportunity to give testimony and present evidence. Second, please do not use generic phrases such as he said and she said. Please use tenant stated or landlord stated or Ms. Washington stated. This will keep the record clear. And third, when referring to a date, please give the complete date, including the year. For example, please state the date as July 4th, 2024. Do not use just in July or just last year or in 2024. The commissioners present today are Commissioner Brunson, Commissioner Butler, and Commissioner Sang. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for appearing at the Fair Housing Commission today. I'm going to start asking some preliminary questions with the tenant because it is her complaint. I'm going to ask some preliminary questions to establish jurisdiction, and then I will also move, I will then ask some questions to the landlord, and then I'll pass the matter to Mr. Williams. So Ms. Washington, I'm going to start with you. Is this regarding the property at 3144 Kamek Street or Kamek
Yes.
Street, Philadelphia, PA 19133?
Yes.
Thank you. And when did you first move in?
I moved in January 15th, 2024.
And are you still currently at this property?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the term of the lease? Is it year to year or month to month? What's your understanding?
From my understanding, it's year.
Okay. And was it from, you said January 15, 2024. Was it from January 15, 2024 through January 15, 2025?
Yes, that's what the lease stated.
Ellie, do you mind pulling up the lease?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Thank you.
Just give me a moment. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody, I have a bit of a cold.
Should be on the screen.
Okay, great, thank you. So let's see the term of the. So here it says January 15, 2024 and through January 15, 2024. Is that a typo?
The parties agree that it should have been for a year. That's a typo.
Okay, great. Thank you for the stipulation. Okay, perfect. Then I don't think we need this. Okay, and then when you moved in, did you receive a certificate of rental suitability?
No, I did not.
Okay, and did you receive a Partners for Good Housing handbook?
No, I did not.
Did you receive a lead certificate?
No, I did not.
Have you received any of those three things since then?
I received it in the mail December 8th, 2024, after I put in my complaint with you guys, along with the court papers.
I see. Okay. Then let's see. Okay, so then, Mr. Williams, do you have any follow-up questions?
I do.
Okay.
If we could, as part of that, if we could pull up page 2 of the lease.
Sure.
Miss Washington, you signed a written lease for the property, right?
Yes.
And your monthly rent's $1,500.
Yes.
And the last time you made any rental payment to the landlord was September 2024, correct?
Yes.
And you've made no payments to him since that point.
Nope.
And then, do you recognize this as being paragraph 2, or do you recognize this as being your lease agreement? Page 2 of your lease agreement specifically.
I can't see it.
Let me try to make it bigger. It is a little faint.
And just
Can you see that now, Ms. Washington?
Mm-hmm.
do you agree that this part of your lease references the Partners for Good Housing booklet or brochure?
No.
Okay, that's
It's
the commission just to acknowledge that the lease is pretty clear. It says further acknowledgement by lessees, and then it says Partners for Good Housing.
This is all new. This is all new to me. I never got that. Never got any of that.
So that is the lease. Do you agree with that, Ms. Washington?
No, because I don't remember signing off on any of that. And the rental of suitability is dated for October of 2024. I received it December 8th, 2024. And as you see, where you can pull that document up, there's no signature of mine on that piece of paper. There's no signature there.
If we could pull up page 3 of the lease, please.
I'm sorry. We're all agreeing the CRS was delivered in the beginning of December, correct?
We do. We agreed. We agreed to that.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. I said December 2024. Excuse me. I'm getting my dates wrong. I got it. Yeah, I got it December 8th, 2024. I moved in January.
okay,
I've been in this
okay,
place without all of that information for basically 12 months.
okay, but the parties are agreeing those documents were delivered on December 8th, 2024, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so I don't think you want the lease signatures, Mr. Williams.
Well, just on page 3, the tenant signed the lease. It's
Okay.
there, but there's her signature on the lease.
Okay.
Okay, so
I do have a follow-up question. I'm sorry.
as of December 6th, you received my letter that was dated December 6th, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
in that letter, you received the rental suitability certificate, the booklet, Partners for Good Housing, the lead safe certificate, and the lab results.
Yeah, 12 months later, I received it. Yep.
And in my letter, there was a request that you sign the lead safe certification and return it to my office. Did you do that?
I did not, because all of this was supposed to be given to me at the beginning of the collection of the security deposit. No rent was supposed to be collected. As a matter of fact, I have a letter from the municipal court stating there's no rental license for certain months for which rent is claimed, and that for unpaid rent for October 1st, 2024 to and including October month 2024, you have not submitted a rental license that was enforced for those months. A Philadelphia ordinance
Okay.
prohibits the collection of rent for those months in which there was no rental
You don't need
license.
to read the law to us. Ms. Washington, you don't need to read the law to us. I understand what you're saying. Mr. Williams, do you have another question?
If we could pull up the landlord's rental license.
Okay.
Ms. Washington, would you agree that this is your landlord's rental license for the property?
I see a rental license, yes.
Okay, and it's
Right.
dated
Go ahead.
October 23rd, 2024, right?
Yes,
And then if we could pull up the rental suitability certificate,
for October 2024.
right? Okay, and is that also, it has an issuance date of October 23rd, 2024? Isn't that correct?
Yes, that's the one I received in December. Absolutely. Pretty
Okay.
much at the end of my lease.
All right, so after you received those documents in my letter, you didn't make any payments to the landlord, right?
No, I didn't sign off on it. No.
Okay, I don't have any further questions on cross-exam.
Okay. So Ms. Washington, I have some other questions for you as well. First, what did you pay when you first moved in?
I paid 2 months, which was $3,000.
Okay. Did you pay any security deposit?
I believe I might have been 3 months. I believe that was the security deposit in the first month.
Okay. So you paid first month, last month, and a security deposit when you first
No,
moved in?
it was 2 months. Excuse me. It was 3,000 altogether.
Okay. It was 3,000 altogether. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
And let's see. And why did you file your complaint today?
Because I felt like the landlord was being unfair as far as, my rights. I asked for a copy of a lease so I can go ahead and get some type of, help with any back payment just to stay on top of my rent. Also, my electric was cut off without any notice. And I never had any air conditioner. I never had any
Ms.
heat.
Washington, I'm going to cut you off. When was your electricity cut off?
My electricity was cut off October 28th, 2024.
And who cut it off?
The landlord.
Okay. And were you given a reason why?
No, it was just cut off.
Okay. And has your electricity been restored?
I cut it back on, yes.
Okay. And how did you do that?
I went and called the electric company and made sure everything was, in my name and cut everything on.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Prior to, so was the electric in your name when you signed the lease?
No, it wasn't.
Okay. The electric was in your landlord's name when you signed
I
the lease?
believe so.
Okay, and you didn't put it into your name until when?
I actually had put it in my name once everything was cut off. Again, I didn't know. I had no type of notice of anything. I had no problem. I verbally agreed that, and it's in my lease, that I'm responsible for electric. I sent that email. I have no problem paying electric. I just wish we would have got fair warning or something, because
Okay.
there could have, I had no
Miss-
air
Mi- Mi-
conditioner.
Ms.
Go ahead.
Washington,
Sorry.
just tell me when you put the electric in your name and when was
Oh,
it?
I put the electric in my name in October.
October what?
I'm trying to remember my dates. Can you give me 1 second so I can reference my dates? Because it was off for almost a whole week. Give me 1 second.
So you're just stating
was
that
cut-
between,
It was cut off. Excuse me. It was cut off October 31st, and I put my electric back on. I want to say November 5th, 2024.
okay, thank you.
And did your rent include electricity?
I'm not sure if it did. I'm not sure, honestly, because I still don't have a copy of my lease.
Okay. Do any of the commissioners, oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Washington, did you have anything else to say about why you filed your complaint?
Again, I had no electric. I had no heat, as you guys can see.
When was your heat cut off?
I apologize. I'm sorry. My heat was cut off. Jesus, it's been the air had from the beginning. The air was messed up in August. Then we rolled over to fall. I didn't need any, heat or air, because it was cool. And then the electricity was cut off. It's been off since August.
Let me back up. Is your heat powered by electricity or gas?
Electricity.
I see. Okay, so when your electric was cut off, then you lost heat as well. But then when your electric came back on, your heat came back on, is that right?
Nope, absolutely not. It was still, broken. It was down. It's completely, it didn't work.
Okay. And did you have heat at all this past winter or during this winter?
No, absolutely not.
So you currently don't have any heat?
It just got cut on January. Maintenance came over January 22nd, 2024.
Okay. Anything else? So you have the electric problem, the heat problem, anything else?
So if there's somebody talking in the background to you, Miss Washington, that can't happen. You have to do
Yeah.
it on your own.
Because this is your testimony.
Yeah, thank you. I apologize. I'm sorry. Can you ask me the question again? I apologize.
Sure. Aside from the electricity, the heat, any other issues?
I had a tenant downstairs who was threatening me for quite some time. I think I have a police report with that. That started around March. And she tried to kick down my door.
Okay. Anything else?
What else? I said the letter of the rental of suitability, that again, I never received that handbook.
Everything you're going to say, I can answer for you. So that means we've been there.
I apologize.
No, it's fine. So then my next question is, with the heat, the electricity, the nuisance from the neighbor, did you report any of this to the landlord?
Yes, I did. He knows, he's very fully aware that this place is ran by electric. So I sent him an email stating, I know I'm responsible for electric. Can you please, handle this matter properly? He never responded to me. He just completely ignored me. When he came in the unit in January 22nd, 2024, I asked him about the electric. I said, what was going on this whole time with the electric? You cut it off. He's like, yeah, I cut it off. I said, so why'd you cut off the electric? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And the air conditioner, we've had problems with the air conditioner all summer long, constantly. There was one point where he said he would fix the air conditioner. The maintenance guy came over. He stated that there was the door, the way the door is made, there was no ventilation. So basically everything like fritz, and he had to cut a hole and do a lot of construction to fix everything up. So I had to wait 2 weeks. So we were in here, me and my 7-year-old son, sweating constantly. It was a mess.
Okay. Do any other commissioners have any follow-up questions?
No questions.
Okay, Mr. Williams?
I have a follow-up question. If we could pull up paragraph 29 of the lease.
1 second, sorry. Okay.
Ms. Washington, you agree that this is paragraph 29 of your lease? Somebody's whispering in the background. I don't know,
And Ms. Washington, is it possible for you to be in a room by yourself?
Yeah, no problem. I apologize again. So,
Isn't it true that electric was supposed to be in your name within 7 days from when you signed the lease, according to this paragraph of your lease?
yeah, listen, totally true.
All right.
Isn't it also true? Isn't it also true as a tenant that I have a right to have some type of electric in my place? Like, that doesn't make any sense. The electric cut off almost 10 months later as a retaliation because he wasn't getting his rent. Isn't it also true that I was supposed to receive a rental of suitability? Like, come on.
Ms. Washington, we're not going to visit the CRS again.
Did you transfer electric into your name within 7 days from when you signed the lease?
I transferred the electric, yes.
Isn't it true that you're
When did you transfer the
within
electric?
7 days?
I transferred the electric in October.
Okay, so you didn't transfer it into your name after you within 7 days after you signed the lease, right?
No, I didn't.
Isn't it true that your landlord was told you that the electric bill he had was $6,000 and he needed payment from you?
No, absolutely not.
So he never asked you for money for
No,
at all?
absolutely not.
Okay. And isn't it true that you have a tenant portal with the landlord where you can report any issues?
No, absolutely not. I never received that.
Do you have any text messages to your landlord where you're complaining about heat at all?
Yes, it's all electric. Everything is controlled by electric. I'm complaining about basic, simple electric, so he knows better. If the electric is connected to the heat, not only that, we never even had air conditioner.
Okay, but you agree that you did not put the electric in your name until nearly 10 months after you signed the lease, right?
Counsel,
Williams,
she's already
what
answered that
is-
question.
Okay,
Yes,
do you have any proof of payment that you paid the landlord for the electric between your move-in and October?
I'm not answering that question. I'm really not.
Ms. Washington,
Yeah.
please answer the question.
I never had it.
Somebody's coaching her in the background. She's looking at that person and
And Ms. Washington, you need to be in a room by yourself unless you want to call a witness.
Yeah, let's call a witness. Let's go.
Okay, so where's the witness? And they haven't been sworn in. So, hi, I need you on camera. Can you please state and spell your name, sir?
Tiberius, Tiberius, Gigante, Gigante.
Okay, and what's your relationship to the property?
It's my girlfriend.
Okay, can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this matter?
Absolutely.
Okay, so have you been in the room the entire time, sir?
Have I been in the room? Yes.
Okay. What was the question that was currently being asked, Mr. Williams?
does the tenant have any proof of payment for electric from move-in in January 2024 through October 2024?
So
Can I-
either of you can answer that question.
Can I just say from the beginning,
No,
there was a
no,
problem.
Answer,
You want to answer the question. Yeah,
Yes.
answer.
And also, you can only answer the question if you know it from personal knowledge, from your
Yeah, I
personal
know.
experience. If you've seen it, if you've
Yes.
experienced it. If you
Yes.
don't know it, you have to say you don't know.
Absolutely, absolutely. What she's being confused here by saying about the electric. It's not about the electric. It was from the beginning. The air conditioner never worked. It was brutally hot. So they had conversation about getting this air put on. It wasn't working. He was supposed to come. He never came. He had somebody come look at it. He never came.
Lack of personal knowledge. Sir, did you talk to the landlord directly or?
I
Ms.
did. I spoke to him.
He did.
He said he was coming. I called him.
He did.
I spoke to him. He said he was going to come. It was so hot. You know, got a little boy, 7 years old. It was brutal up here. So he said he was going to fix it. All right. The electric, nobody was even talking about the electric. We were talking about.
Okay, but sir, we are talking about the electric.
Well, I'm talking about the air conditioner from the very beginning. It
We're
wasn't.
not talking about, that's not the question that's on the table. That's not
Okay.
the question on the table. The question on the table is the electrical payment. Do you know if the tenant ever paid the landlord any payments for the electric bill?
No, because it
If
was.
you don't know, do you know as in you don't know, or know as she never
No,
did?
she didn't. I don't think she did. No.
Okay, Ms. Washington, did you?
No, I verbally agreed that I would pay everything. And it was not a $6,000 electric bill. That's a lie. And not to mention,
We have the
again, no,
answer.
let me
Ms.
finish.
Washington, no, we have the answer. Mr. Williams, you can ask your next question.
I do. This question's for the gentleman. Sir, do you live at the property at 3144 Camac Street?
No, I don't.
Where do you live?
I live on 9th Street,
What's your address?
2430 South 9th.
Okay. And do you ever stay at Camac Street?
Yes.
Yes.
You do. What, do you have your driver's license with you?
No,
Mr. Williams, I don't know how this is relevant.
it really isn't.
Well, because
It
there's,
is. It's not relevant.
So stop.
Stop.
Unauthorized occupant is not mentioned in any of your notices, Mr. Williams, so we're not going to do that. We're going to move on. Next question.
I agree that it's not in my documents. Also, in the tenant's fair housing complaint, it mentions nothing about electric, so I didn't have notice of that before
Okay.
today. And it mentions nothing about heat. So if we're going to keep it consistent, I ask that it be kept consistent with all due respect to everybody involved.
So we've already dealt with
Yes.
the electric issue, right?
We did, it just didn't appear in the tenant's complaint.
Okay.
Yeah, neither did the heat or the air conditioning.
Okay.
I don't have any
I think we're ready to move on to your case, Mr. Williams.
Yes, please. Thank you. Sir, state your name for the record.
Corey Haggy.
Mr. Haggy, does your company own the property located at 3144 North Camac Street?
Yes, sir.
And did you enter into a written lease with the tenant?
Yes, sir.
And is the monthly rent $1,500?
Yes, sir.
And if you take a look at paragraph 29 of your lease, who's responsible for the electric bill?
The tenant.
And did the tenant transfer the electric into her name before October?
No.
Did you ever ask the tenant for payment for the electric bill?
Yes.
Did the tenant pay you for the electric?
No.
Tenant states in her direct testimony that she had no notice about electric issue. Do you agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Why?
Lying.
Because we have.
Speak up, you're being recorded.
Washington, you cannot interject like that.
We have inspections at the property. My property management, she actually had an in-person conversation with Miss Felicia about the actual electric being placed in her name. Also, when we have phone calls to reach out to Miss Washington, we also state about the electric being in her name.
And did you shut off the electric or did PECO, the Philadelphia Electric Company, shut off the electric?
Pico shut off the electric.
Okay, and did you give the tenant any warning that there was an issue with the electric?
Yes.
When? And how many times?
We spoke about 3 times about the electric prior to Pico.
And did you receive any payment from the tenant for the electric bill?
No.
How much was the electric bill before it was shut off?
Around $6,000.
And did the tenant ever complain to you about any issues with heat or air conditioning?
Yes.
And what did you do to address those issues?
So she called me and I scheduled my HVAC technician to come out to her.
And when was that?
That was back in July and August.
Okay, and did you receive any other complaints from the tenant after that in regard to electric or heat or air conditioning?
No.
Okay, and when was the last time the tenant made any payment to you whatsoever?
September 24th, 2024.
And what did you apply that payment to?
That payment was to August.
Okay, did you receive any payments after that?
No.
Do you believe that the tenant owes you a prorated portion for October in the amount of $435.48?
Yes.
And is there also a $50 late fee in your lease?
Yes.
And are you seeking November's rent, $1,500 plus the $50 late fee?
Yes.
Are you seeking December's rent, $1,500 plus the $50 late fee?
Yes.
Are you seeking January's rent of $1,500 plus the $50 late fee?
Yes.
Did you hire my office to pursue regaining possession of the property?
Yes.
If we
Mr.
could,
Williams, a lot of leading here.
okay, if we could pull up the notice to vacate.
So there were two. I'm assuming you want the December 6th one?
Correct.
Okay.
Mr. Haggy, in this letter, we sent the tenant the documents. What documents did we send? If you look at that bottom paragraph.
We sent over the certificate of rental suitability. We sent over the Partners of Good Housing pamphlet. We sent over the certificate of lab safe, and we sent over the lab results.
All right, now when you did the lease with the tenant, did you ever give any of these documents before I gave them in my letter?
Yes.
What documents did you give to the tenant before the letter was sent?
We gave the rental license. We also gave over the Partners of Good Housing. We gave over the lab safe, and we gave over the lab results as well too.
And when did you give those?
We gave those January 15, 2024.
So were they part of your lease agreement?
Yes.
Is there anything else that you would like to address, Mr. Haggy?
Yeah, so as far as just communication with Ms. Washington goes, I have a tenant portal that all of my tenants have access to. I was using Door Loop. That's what I use currently right now. So all my tenants, no matter what, they all put in any type of maintenance complaints right inside the portal. I have this right here so that they can go ahead and have access to us. But just on the, this whole, last 4 months or so, I was not aware that the heat, for whatever reason, was not working. We went over there and it was literally a switch of a button just to click on, then the heat started working immediately. We do have proof of that. And as far as the electric, or as far as the HVAC, the cooling in the summertime, like I stated, I did send, and I had proof that I sent my electrician to the house, and Ms. Washington stated, no, it's okay. You could come back another time. Never scheduled another time, and that's what I have to say.
And how did she say that to you, on text message?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that text message here now?
Yes.
And can you read what the contents of that text message, please, and the date?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
He waited almost 3 weeks. He waited almost 3 weeks. By the time you came
Ms.
back,
Washington,
it was
no.
This is August 29th, 2024, 4:09 p.m. Good morning. I'm checking to see if the services is still on for Saturday before 3 p.m. I wasn't sure yesterday's phone conversation on the phone You hung up in the middle of the conversation. So I'm putting my schedule together and I wanted to see if you're still available by 3 p.m. on Saturday.
So who sent that? You sent it or she sent it?
So my HVAC technician sent that.
Okay, and what was the response from the tenant?
So she didn't respond. Then he came the next day. He texted her and said, "I'm actually out front." She responded, "You told me 3 o'clock. It's 2:30." He responded, "I sent in text message saying I'll be here by 3 o'clock, which means between normal work hours, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. But that's fine. I'll sit down here and wait." She responded, "You can come another day. That's fine." He said, "I don't have another day to come right now. I have a lot of work going on. And
That's
today
fine.
I actually made time to get this done. So if not today, I'm not sure exactly when I'll be able to come back. Right now it might be a few weeks because I have jobs. So if today is bad, can you reach out to Corey to let him and I also know?" She said, "No problem, because at this summer is over." Okay, that's fine. I'll reschedule with him and see where I'll be able to come back out. From there, I have not had any type of messages or correspondence for her to even let me know that the heat is not working or anything. So I've tried. I sent my guys out 2 times to try to even to do anything to get the air on because there's brand new systems in there.
Okay, we can move on. I have enough on this. Mr. Williams, any other?
No further questions.
Okay. Do any other commissioners have any questions?
Yes, can the landlord tell us, you mentioned that, January, you delivered the rental license, lead certificate, and brochure to
Yes.
the tenant. When did you give her the CRS?
At least signing.
The certificate of rental
so-
suitability?
Landlord, if you could be clear, he may not understand what a CRS is, the acronym.
Certificate, I said certificate of rental suitability. When
Uh,
was the first time that was delivered to the tenant?
October 23rd, 2024.
Did you previously provide that to the client,
No,
to the tenant?
no, ma'am.
Do anybody have any questions, commissioners?
And how was their certificate delivered? You
This,
said?
yeah, I delivered this by hand to the house.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so at this time, the commissioners are going to take a break to deliberate. And so you're going to get a link that pops up for you to go into a breakout room. Please click on that link. Do not exit from the Zoom session, please. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming back. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. So if you can like raise up your hand just to confirm that Ms. Washington. Okay, perfect. All right. So the commissioners deliberated and we are issuing our order and it is as such. So it is our finding that the CRS, a certificate for rental suitability, the handbook and the lead cert were delivered on December 8th, 2024. As such, no rent is due until December 8th, 2024. Rent starts accruing and due since 12/8/2024. And as such, the December 8, 2024 notice to vacate is valid and all the parties have to appear before municipal courts at the court date. Okay, any questions? Okay, then you may leave. Thank you.
All right, we're concluding this hearing at this time. Thank you, everybody.